Do you want to do up to 4 attacks in one round as a paladin? Have on-demand crits, range utility, party utility, and just completely nuke the hell out of somebody? Then I have the perfect Oathbreaker Paladin class guide for you that I'm dubbing the Death Knight. I really hope you enjoy. This is a multi-class build of 7 Paladin, 5 Warlock. Let's go ahead and break it down. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is choose a race and your subclass. I'm going to break this down super quick. Race, it doesn't matter. However, if you want better combat, there's going to be some that are a little bit better than others. Zerial Tieflings are really nice. You get a nice cantrip for your intimidation and performance checks. They gain Searing Smite, and their version of Searing Smite that you get at level 3 is actually a higher version of the one that you learn as a Paladin. And they gain Brandish Smite as well at level 5, so they're pretty good in combat, and those 2 spells aren't going to use a spell slot, which is really nice. Half Orc would be my number 2. This build, once you get it going, is going to crit a lot. So getting savage attacks to roll extra crit on top of everything you already do is just going to really boost up your damage and you will nuke stuff. But Relentless Endurance is really nice too, because it's a get out of jail free card. Instead of being downed, you will now have 1 HP. Really nice. Personally, I really like Drowse as well, just from a lore standpoint. Really, pick whatever you want, it's up to you. Shout out to Wood Elves because they get slightly more movement. Subclass, go Oath of Devotion. It's the easiest oath to break. Just kill someone that's innocent and guess what? You're now an Oathbreaker. Background, pick whatever you want. Ability scores, you will actually respec later on. So this doesn't matter all that much. I would say go with what's recommended. However, if you really want to break it down, I would go 14 into your Constitution. Having 13 isn't all that great, but for me, I'm going to go like this. That way you already get the modifier for charisma, but now you get it there as well. Dex doesn't matter all that much because you're going to be wearing heavy armor most likely, so you could drop that and put points into charisma if you wanted. Really up to you. Side note, Githyanki are also really great for races. They have some great combat stuff, free Misty Step, free jump, and a free cantrip for Mage Hand. Also, the Dark Urge is a fantastic if you want to play it for a RP theme with a Fallen Paladin. Something to think about, and they get a great cape that will actually give you invisibility after you kill someone for 2 turns. So it's pretty nice. Okay, at level 2 Paladin, you finally gain Divine Smite. This is such a great skill because it makes all your melee attacks do extra radiant damage. The higher spell slot you have, the more damage it does, and if you're facing a fiend or undead, it does even more additional damage. This is going to be the bread and butter of your damage for this build, and trust me when I say you can get this to skyrocket and just completely decimate people. You have a couple choices for your fighting style that you'll gain at level 2. The default one, if you don't want to think about anything, is defense. It just gives you +1 AC to your armor class. Nothing wrong with that at all. Dueling is really great if you go the one-handed build. The one-handed build means you main hand a one-hander, offhand is a shield. So you'll gain extra AC for that, and you'll actually have +2 damage to all your damage rolls with the one-hander. And this is going to be nice because this will stack with Aura of Hate that we're going to talk about later on for even more damage. It's really nice. If you go a two-hander, great weapon fighting isn't bad. It's okay at best though. Overall, it's going to lead to, I think with the math, like maybe 15% more damage overall. I can't remember the exact math in this game, but it's not significant, but it is nice not to roll a 1 or 2. Protection, I mean, I guess you could use that if you wanted. Don't do it. Go dueling or great weapon fighting, and even defense. Like either of those are all good. Great weapon fighting though, definitely if you go the like super nuke build though, probably the better choice. And I'm not going over specific spells yet, just because Once you become an Oathbreaker, you will get a whole new set of skills and spells, and we're going to talk about that after we go over some more information. Level 3 though is nice because you're only one level away from getting some cool stuff. Level 4 is pretty great because you gain an additional Lay on Hands charge, which is nice because it's a heal you can use without using a spell slot, so that's pretty awesome. And this is when you gain your first feat at level 4. I would say go Ability Improvement, and because you can put 2 in each one, I would say go Strength and go Charisma. Now they're both at 18 and 16, so you get an increased modifier for those since modifiers are done on even numbers. Level 5 Paladin is when things really start to shake up, and if you are going this route, I would say don't multi-class into Warlock until after level 5. Gaining extra attack will really boost your damage in combat and make you so much more versatile. You gain some really great spells. Darkness, this has a lot of applications. You can use this defensively or offensively, and with how this build synergizes into Warlock, this is going to be really huge, and we'll talk about that in a minute. You also gain Crown of Madness, which is really nice because it's just a little bit of more CC. Both of these spells are concentration, so you can only use one at a time, so do keep that in mind. At level 6, you gain Aura of Protection. This will add your proficiency bonus from Charisma to all saving throws. I know it says 0 here, but that's just a tooltip glitch. So at 20 Charisma, you would have +5 to all saving throws. That is amazing considering you only have Charisma and Wisdom as proficient in saving throws. So gaining +5 to everything else once you do have Charisma at level 20, which in this build you will have, is a really great thing. At level 7 Oathbreaker, you gain Aura of Hate, and this thing is what makes this build so strong. It is flat raw damage that is going to be equal to your Charisma modifier. As you can see, I have 16 Charisma as this build, so it's +3 right now. At 20 Charisma, it would be +5 raw damage for your own attacks and any undead and or fiends. This does affect enemies, so do keep that in mind, but it will affect any undead and fiends that your friends have. So if you have a wizard necromancer that is with you, this would be really awesome to use as well. As soon as you put 1 point into Warlock, you get to choose a subclass. We are going with the Great Old One. The reason being for a couple of things. A, you gain access to TASHA'S Hideous Laughter, which is an amazing CC ability. You can literally for 10 turns, assuming your concentration isn't broken, you can completely nullify someone in combat. They'll be out of combat for those 10 turns. You also gain Mortal Reminder. With how crit focused this build is in conjunction with CC, utility, and other things, you will be critting a lot, and anytime you do land a crit, that creature and any nearby enemies near that creature must succeed in a wisdom saving throw, or they become frightened until the end of their next turn. This does work for spells as well. Frightened is a great status because it allows the creature that is frightened to not move at all, and they have disadvantage on any ability checks and attack rolls. Keep in mind, they can get opportunity attacks still. You gain 2 cantrips. First one is Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast is an amazing ability because as you level up, this skill becomes greater, and at max level, you will actually shoot out 3 beams of Eldritch Blast. You also get to choose a second cantrip. It defaults to Blade Ward, which is really nice because it's great to have for in combat things. Most melee damage you take is bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing, so having half of that damage reduced, I mean, it's just less damage, so that's never a bad thing. I would say replace Dissonant Whispers with Hex. Hex is a really great ability in game. It is another concentration spell. So if you do have someone else CC'd from Tasha's Hideous Laughter, you won't be able to use Hex. But Hex is really great if you do want to give the enemy disadvantage and do extra damage from your attacks, because it does stack 1 to 6 necrotic damage, and because you can attack up to 4 times with this build, it's going to be pretty strong. At level 2 Warlock, you do get to gain another spell. Pick whatever you want, it doesn't matter. You gain 2 Eldritch Invocations. You're going to choose Agonizing Blast here, because this will allow your Eldritch Blast to actually add extra damage equal to your Charisma modifier. And at the end of this build, you'll have 20, so that will be plus 5 damage on every blast. And you're going to choose Devil's Sight. Devil's Sight in conjunction with Darkness is such an amazing utility. Here's why. So instead of dropping the Darkness on him to force him out, you could also cast the Darkness on yourself, which I'm going to do right now. While I'm in the darkness, I'm immune to being blinded because of the Devil's Sight that we chose while leveling up with the Warlock subclass and multi-class. So now they can't hit me at all. And if there were any melee characters in here, they would have blindness and have disadvantage on attack rolls, which is really nice. Dark Vision does not affect darkness. At Warlock level 3, you do get to choose a new spell. You're going to go with Hold Person here. This spell is absolutely amazing. It is another concentration spell. We do have a lot of those. However, this is going to guarantee a critical hit with your melee attacks, and this will also affect Divine Smite. It is such a strong combo because you can combo this into the Fear that we mentioned earlier for being the subclass. It's just really, really strong, and getting the full damage from your Divine Smite as well, just all that extra damage is huge. It's really great. Another way to guarantee criticals is Luck of the Far Realms. This is an illithid power that you can gain far early in the game because it only requires 2 of the illithid worms. This is considered a reaction, however, so if you happen to use Hellish Rebuke on the enemy's turn, you cannot use Luck of the Far Realms on your turn. If you take a look at the tree, you want to put you need to get Beginnings first, and after that, you can then unlock Luck of the Far Realms. I have almost all of my spells considered a reaction here. The only one I don't is Opportunity Attack, because for the most part, getting a free attack on an enemy is never a bad thing. But you can choose to have that ask as well if you would like. To get to this menu, simply click on your Divine Smite, and you can click, or you can go to your character and go to Spellbook, move over to Reactions, and you can decide from there what you'd like to do. Now you get to choose a Pact Boon. You could go Pact of the Chain if you wanted a Fiend to gain benefits from your Aura of Hate. However, the Fiend is really weak, and in my opinion, not the way to go. You want Pact of the Blade. This allows you to make a pact with any weapon of your choice. It will make that weapon scale with Charisma instead of Dex or Strength. That is fantastic because your spells are going to be Charisma based. Now your melee attacks will be as well. And you're going to want to stack a lot of Charisma for your Aura of Hate and your other aura to do the saving throws now with Pact of the Blade. See how it's all coming together? But it gets even better later on. Once you get Pact of the Blade, this is when you're going to want to respec your character because you will no longer need Strength. You're going to want to boost your Charisma up to level 20 first. You get to gain another cantrip at Warlock level 4. My suggestion would to go with Friends. This is really great for charisma checks against non-hostile creatures because you gain advantage, meaning you get to roll 2 dice instead of 1. You get to add another spell here. Pick what you want. If you don't have the Amulet of Misty Step, I would say go with whatever you want. However, having Misty Step is such a great spell for positioning or getting away because it's a bonus action, and paladins don't have a lot of gap closers, so in my opinion, Misty Step is the way to go. And you get to choose your second feat here. Assuming you went ability improvement for your first feat, you're going to want to go either Warcaster. This will allow you to have advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration. However, if you want the biggest damage possible, you want to have Great Weapon Master. Great Weapon Master, when you land a critical hit or kill a target with a melee weapon attack, you can make another melee attack as a bonus action. That is really amazing, considering there's going to be multiple ways to guarantee critical hits. When you do have Great Weapon Master active, you have a toggle to where you can give yourself plus 10 damage with your two-handed melee weapons at a cost of -5 to your attack rolls. This is easy to work around because there's spells like Bless to give you extra attack, and with your modifier, once you do get it to plus 20 or at 20, the -5 penalty is null and void. So there's a lot of ways to work around this. Very useful and makes you just hit so much harder. At level 5 Warlock, you now gain access to rank 3 spells, and these rank 3 spells do work with Divine Smite, so your Divine Smite will be hitting like a truck. However, there are some choices here, and I would recommend going with Counterspell. This is a great reaction because you can use this to completely nullify someone else's spell. And you get to choose another Eldritch Invocation. You can choose whatever you want here. However, my suggestion would be Repelling Blast, because now this will allow every single Eldritch Blast you shoot to knock back the enemy, but because you chose the one earlier, Agonizing Blast, it will also scale with Charisma, so it's a great combo to have. Also, at level 5 Warlock, because we chose Pact of the Blade earlier, not only will our melee attacks scale with Charisma, but we also gain an extra attack, and this does stack with the level 5 extra attack that you got from being a Paladin. That gives us 3 attacks in 1 turn, and if you crit or kill the enemy, you get a bonus attack that you can use as a bonus action, giving you 4 attacks in 1 turn. Very, very powerful stuff. Let's go over a couple of unique spells that you will get as the Oathbreaker. You get Inflict Wounds. This spell is okay. As this build, I find it's not that great because you have so many attacks once you get to a higher level that you can combo with Divine Smite. And why would you not use that? It has some uses maybe, but Inflict Wounds doesn't seem that great once you get better gear and level up. You gain Spiteful Suffering, which is one of your actual Channel Oath abilities. This one is actually really great. It will give you advantage on your attack rolls for 3 turns, which is awesome because of your actual passive for Great Weapon Master. So keep that in mind because that does give you -5 penalty. So getting advantage, meaning you would roll 2 dice to attack with, is really nice to have. Your other Channel Oath ability, again, Control Undead, has some uses. Better late game than it is early game, but it's okay. And Dreadful Aspect, because this build can crit so much, you don't necessarily use this all that much, but it can have some uses because the AoE is so large, so you can use it in a pinch and it can really come in handy. In this scenario, I have 4 enemies I'm fighting. I have hold person already on an enemy, there's 2 rangers, and I have the enemy right in front of me. So right now I have really bad chance to hit. It's only 40% chance, but I'm going to try it anyway. And I missed. That's really unfortunate. Let's do it again. I missed again. Let's do a third attack. So now the third attack is going to hit. Did a lot of damage. I'm going to do a Divine Smite level 2. And it kills him. I went invisible here because of my cape that I have from being the Dark Urge. I'm going to move over. Because I crit, I actually have a bonus action to where I can attack with Great Weapon Master bonus. And because she is held, I have a 100% chance to hit and a 100% chance to crit as well. And I'm going to use Divine Smite level 3. That's a lot of damage. I almost just basically one-shot her. Really fantastic. But let's see what would have happened if I didn't waste all my extra attacks. We saw what happened in the last clip, so now I'm going to turn the passive off, going from 40 to 65% chance to hit. And that was a lot of damage. He has 9 HP now. Yeah. So, I'm going to use, I could either use another attack, or I have my bonus action now, where I can just simply use the Great Weapon Master bonus. Because that bonus for critting will happen whether you have it toggled or not. Which is really nice. So I finished him. There we go. And now I still have 2 more attacks I can use. If I go to hover over her, it's 100%. So I'm going to put the passive back on. That way I can get the extra 10 damage. And I just one-shot her because my crit roll for Divine Smite was better. I actually have 1 more attack, and guess what? This person's in range. So I have a 65% chance to hit him. If I go to my passives, I could turn it off, and it's 90. So what do you think we should do in this scenario? I'm going for big damage. I want to kill him. 65 isn't that great chance of hit. However, I want to see what happens. That's a lot of damage. So now, I could use Hellish Rebuke if I wanted on the enemy there, but if I do, I know for sure that I'm not going to have another reaction, so I won't get a guaranteed crit if I wanted to. So I'm not going to react right now. Oh, I missed my attack of opportunity. That is unfortunate. If the attack of opportunity would have hit, I would have killed her. That's the thing. Because I left my passive on, that affects the attack of opportunities as well. So let's see what I could do in a scenario now. I could just run up and kill them, but I do want to show off some of the other utility that you have as this spec. So now I have 2 options I could do. I could cast a spell or a cantrip. There's a bunch of different things I could do. If I go for my cantrip, I could use Eldritch Blast, and I could hit her, I could hit him, and I could target him a couple different ways. However, I do not want to do that yet. I'm going to actually cast Hex first, because this is a bonus action. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Hex on. And now I'm going to use my cantrip. So she has rallied HP plus her normal 15 HP as well, it seems like. Something around there. So I have a chance to actually one-shot her with Eldritch Blast, but I'm going to send 2 just in case, and I'm going to send 1 to him. So as you can see, she got destroyed. She blew up a lot, and my 1 Eldritch Blast there pushed him back, but it wasn't enough to actually push him all the way off the edge, and now he has really high terrain. I am playing as Dark Urge, so I do have the cape in order to make me invisible after a kill. However, if you don't have that, he would have advantage on me to hit. So another way to play out this scenario is a few different things. I could command the enemy right here to grovel, drop their weapon, approach me, and or halt, whichever way I wanted, but it does take an action. I could use TASHA'S Hideous Laughter and potentially make one of them CC'd. So it's a 65% chance on him, so let's see. And now his turn is null and void. And I'm just going to end my turn here, except you can see I'm a little low. I could use a potion if I wanted, but for this scenario we don't need it. So I do know she's pretty low, so I could use Hellish Rebuke and possibly kill her, and I'm going to do that. Or I could use the rank 1. If I roll high enough, I could kill her with rank 1, so we'll go with that. Unfortunately, I rolled really bad, so it didn't kill her. If I would have rolled better, she would have been gone. So instead of dropping the darkness on him to force him out, you could also cast the darkness on yourself, which I'm going to do right now. While I'm in the darkness, I'm immune to being blinded because of the Devil Sight that we chose while leveling up with the Warlock subclass and multi-class. So now they can't hit me at all, and if there were any melee characters in here, they would have blindness and have disadvantage on attack rolls, which is really nice. Dark vision does not affect darkness. You need magic darkness vision to actually see in this, and from my understanding, the only way to do that is if you have if you are the Warlock subclass for the Devil Sight. So it's really handy. The darkness will affect your teammates though, so keep that in mind. So I'm just chilling in here. They still can't do anything to me. But this only delays it for a short amount of time. So I could end my turn again just to see what they do. And they're just going to stand there. They're not going to do anything because they can't. See? They're telling me to stand and fight. So this is really great for area control if you need to block off someone's sight, if you want to just make yourself a little more tanky because it will affect melee. And melee characters, because they still have a small chance to hit you, will run in. However, more than likely you'll dodge their attacks. Okay, so let's go ahead and use Misty Step instead. And I have an amulet for this, which is why I'm able to use it, no issues. But I could also use it as a spell as well, if needed. So I could Misty Step over here, and now I'm going to kill her. It's only 40%, and that's because of the passive, like before. Turn it off. And she's gone. I didn't even need to use Divine Smite because she was just dead. Now I wish I could reach him, but I don't have enough movement, which is unfortunate. Because if I did, I would have 2 more attacks that I could do. And again, I have the cape for being a Dark Urge, so if I didn't have that cape, I would have ran inside the darkness instead. But I do have advantage because I went stealth, so that's great because now I can have advantage with Great Weapon Master all in, giving me a higher chance to hit. And I somehow still missed. That is unfortunate. Man, I did hit the third hit, but I missed all the other ones, which is unfortunate. That right there is why you should learn to toggle on and off your passives. Anyway guys, I'm Ronan. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it and you learned something new, please like and subscribe, because I am going to try making build videos for pretty much every class in game. That being said, comment what you want to see next. And thanks. I spent a lot of time on this video. Oathbreaker was my favorite class and the first class I started playing, so I truly do hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.